Teachers, my fellow teachers, please stop being afraid of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is not going to destroy education. Hey everyone, Chris here from This Professional Life. I'm going to go on a bit of a rant in today's video, but more so out of love for teachers, because many years ago, I started my professional career in education. I taught at the high school level for 5 years, covering a range of subjects, including social studies, drafting and design, and business technologies. And I will tell you this, I wish I had ChatGPT when I first started my career. Now, before I dive into my rant, for those who haven't been playing around with ChatGPT over the last couple of days, you may have noticed that it's been getting tougher to log into the system. I've noticed that for the last 24 hours, I've not been able to get onto ChatGPT. When I attempt to log in, I just see that orange error message saying that they're experiencing high demands and are working on scaling their systems to meet the demands. A few theories on this one. Marketers across the globe are now using ChatGPT en masse to crank out tons of written content for both their own uses and the client uses. Second, every influencer in the social media space is finding ways to combine ChatGPT with other AI tools to pump out business schemes to take advantage of the arbitrage opportunity right now to make money quickly through their platforms. I've seen no shortage of influencers talking about the new AI workflow they've created with ChatGPT that you can use to make a few $1,000s per month or per day. So this, of course, leads to everyone else giving it a try and using the computing resources. Lastly, which ties into education, it's that time of year where kids have essays and assignments due before the midterms or any post-holiday assignments that were given. They're on ChatGPT pumping out the assignments that they need done. Now, interesting tidbit of information, according to many online sources, the cost of OpenAI to operate ChatGPT in its current form is approximately $3 million. This was calculated based on the GPU power needed to perform AI requests and the average cost of utilizing the Amazon AWS infrastructure. So for teachers afraid of ChatGPT and what it might mean for students, here are a few things you need to know. First off, this version of ChatGPT, which is built on GPT 3.5 framework, only has text information up to 2021. As ChatGPT does not crawl for current information on the internet, assignments that may require more current event analysis would minimize the helpfulness of ChatGPT for the students. Although I have seen some newly released program add-ons that give ChatGPT the ability to search recent information, I'll address this later and explain why that doesn't even matter. Now, second, according to the Search Engine Journal publication, an important limitation to be aware of is that GPT is trained to be helpful, truthful, and harmless. Those aren't just ideals, they are intentional biases that are built into the machine. What this means is that its output is meant to try and avoid responses to be negative and harmful. So in order to get as dynamic an answer out of ChatGPT, you need to provide it with a lot of parameters and a lot of context for a type of response you are specifically looking for. So for students who may not have read the underlying novel that you've asked them to write an essay on, they won't be able to provide ChatGPT with the necessary parameters to create a full essay that is true to the underlying theme of the novel. A good example is if a novel is very dark and negative, the responses may not be in line with what is expected from an essay. Now, third, Google recently came out with a response that their AI system can detect AI-generated text. Google has a big vested interest in doing this as their goal has always been to rank high-quality content. Any AI-generated content pumped out en masse would lower the overall quality of content that's being released online. In fact, it would go against their policy that creatives create original content and anything else would be relegated to spam and not rank on their search engines. Now, are there apps to check for AI-generated content? Absolutely. Crossplag.com is one that many universities are now deploying for professors and teaching assistants to use to double-check student essays. Now for my rant. Teachers, you do not need to be afraid of ChatGPT. In fact, you should embrace it and use it to your advantage to create new lesson plans for your students. Lesson plans and tests that don't relegate to the traditional ways of assessing student learning. Because here's something you need to know. ChatGPT is currently built on GPT 3.5, a system that uses 175 billion parameters for its responses. GPT-4 is now officially in the pipeline and its release is going to be any month now. GPT-4 is significantly larger and more powerful than GPT-3 and will be equipped with 170 trillion parameters. That's trillion with a T. Think about this. You think GPT is scary now? GPT-4 is going to be even scarier. But hear me out. Think of all the fun and innovative technologies that have been created since the development of the internet that kids are now using to learn. Translate that to ChatGPT. What kind of innovative developments from ChatGPT could we expect in the future for education? So if I were still a teacher, this is how I would approach ChatGPT. If I was still teaching, let's say, social studies, and let's say the unit was on the Napoleonic Wars, I would give the students an assignment to do something fun and creative about this subject. So step one, I'd go to ChatGPT with the students and work with them to give ChatGPT some instructions to pump out a, let's say, 3-paragraph summary of the Napoleonic Wars. Then step two, I would ask the students to go to reputable websites that the school library has put together and verify that the 3-paragraph summary is indeed correct and accurate. Step three, I'd ask the students to go back to ChatGPT and now have some fun. For example, get the students to have ChatGPT write a rap music video based on the Napoleonic Wars. Then get the students to work with the multimedia students to film and rap the video. Through this process, they would not only have fun, but also learn about the Napoleonic Wars. For kids who don't want to make a rap video, perhaps they're more into dramatic plays. Well, have them use ChatGPT to write an entire script to make a dramatic play about the Napoleonic Wars. Maybe the students are into sports. Have them ask ChatGPT to write a script as if the student was a sports commentator during one of the wars that Napoleon fought, and they would record themselves commentating on it. Some students might like art. Well, have them use ChatGPT and an art AI program to create a series of AI-generated artwork that tells the story of Napoleon. Then have them present it in front of the class or build a website, heck, even make an ebook or throw it up on TikTok. You need to shift your mindset and think about ChatGPT as a tool that has now elevated the bar of what students can produce, and that means teachers will need to elevate how they approach teaching and rethink the way they assess students. And administrators, you need to support the teachers and make an environment where they and the students can succeed with these new approaches and these new tools. Now, I know this isn't all teachers. I know many teachers who continually strive to improve their craft and are always innovating for students. But for those who want to fight this battle with ChatGPT, as Simon Sinek would say, stop having a finite mindset. Simon Sinek's latest book, The Infinite Game, talks about how leaders need to approach the world with an infinite mindset that strives to promote the greater just cause. In the case of education, teachers, you are the leaders for the students. The just cause is the never-ending pursuit of learning. The goal should be to encourage a love of learning, not something we ram down the kids' throats for the sake of hitting some arbitrary or some educational metrics that we need to define every year. Again, I reiterate, there are many great teachers out there already doing this, but this message is for those teachers and administrators that see ChatGPT as a threat. I would encourage you to play around with the tool and find ways to elevate the teaching in the classroom. Shouldn't we embrace any tool that helps us progress the just cause of education? Don't we want our next generation of students to embrace learning rather than see education as an enemy and the institution that they despise? One thing is for sure, there are digital influencers out there cranking out messages that this new generation of students are listening to very carefully. And one of those messages is that the education system is broken, especially with post-secondary education. And to top that off, these influencers like Gary Vee are demonstrating that for some, you don't need higher education to be successful in getting certain jobs or making a lot of money. So educators, please stop fighting technological progress and stop fighting innovation. Embrace it and use it to be the educator you set out to be when you first joined the profession.